So the important questions in which you all have doubts. The first one is question number 7. If A, B and C be the Pth, Qth and Rth term of an AP, means A equals to Pth term, B is Qth term and C is Rth term of an AP. Clearly, we know that formula for nth term of an AP is A plus n minus 1, as in place of n it is P, Pth term. So we write P minus 1 into D. So this time we will use capital A to represent the first term, as small a is already given in the question as the Pth term. So we cannot take it as the first term. So we are taking capital A as the first term, and to match with it, though we can take a small d also as the common difference, but this time we are taking capital D as the common difference. Similarly, small b equals to capital A plus q minus 1 into d, and small c equals to capital A plus r minus 1 into d. So these three are the equations which are given in question. If Pth, Qth and Rth term of an AP are A, B and C, means small a equals to A plus P minus 1 into D, small b equals to A plus Q minus 1 into D, and small c equals to A plus R minus 1 into D. These three equations are given. First, second, and third, which we have to use in next discussion. Prove that A into Q minus R. Now we have to prove A into Q minus R plus B into R minus P plus C into P minus Q equals to 0. Okay. So first we will use the method like we use in simultaneous linear equation, as there are two unknowns A and D. So if we subtract equation 2 from equation 1, A will be cancelled out from both. So subtracting equation 2 from equation 1, what do we get? Small a equals to capital A plus P minus 1 into D. Small b equals to capital A plus Q minus 1 into D. And on subtracting, minus, minus, minus. So A minus B equals to A cancelled out. P minus 1 into D minus Q minus 1 into D. It implies A minus B equals to, if we take D common, P minus 1 minus, this will change the sign of this bracket, minus Q plus 1. And it implies A minus B equals to D into 1 cancelled out. So it is D into P minus Q, which is taken as equation number 4. A minus B equals to D into P minus Q. So if you look at the proving which we have to do, A into Q minus R plus B into R minus P plus C into P minus Q equals to 0, we have to prove. And there is a part P minus Q in this. And in our discussion, we have also brought P minus Q. which is equal to A minus B upon D. So we will write it as equation number 4, and in place of P minus Q, in left hand side of this, we can write A minus B upon D. Similarly, we can find the other brackets also, like Q minus R and R minus P. If we subtract now equation 2 from equation 3, now you also have understood that if we are subtracting Pth term from the Qth term, A will be cancelled out and it is giving P minus Q only. So if we subtract equation third from equation 2, that is B equals to A plus Q minus 1 into D, and C equals to A plus R minus 1 into D minus minus minus. So B minus C equals to A cancelled out. There will be Q minus R into D, which is taken as equation number 5. And from this equation also we can find the value of Q minus R as B minus C upon D, which we can substitute in this left hand side of the proving. And again, subtracting equation 1 from equation 3. So this rule of clockwise is taking place. After A, B, B, C, C, A. So we will subtract equation 1 from equation 3. C equals to A plus R minus 1 into D. A equals to A plus P minus 1 into D. And on subtracting, minus, minus, minus. So C minus A equals to A cancelled out into R minus equals to R minus P into D. Equation number 6. So from equation number 4, we can have P minus Q equals to A minus B upon D. Q minus R equals to B minus C upon D. And R minus P equals to C upon A, C minus A upon D. So from left hand side of the proving, if we use left hand side of the proving, which is A into Q minus R plus B into R minus P plus C into P minus Q, and use the value of Q minus R from equation 5. It is B minus C upon D plus B into value of R minus P is C minus A upon D plus C into value of P minus Q is A minus B upon D equals to, now D, D and D is in the denominator of all the three. So we can take 1 by D common. Then expand the bracket in the numerator. AB minus AC plus BC minus AB plus CA minus BC. So check for the like terms. AB will be cancelled out, minus AC plus AC will be cancelled out, BC minus BC will also be cancelled out. So 1 by D into 0 equals to 0, which is RHS, hence proved. So very easy method. First we subtract equation 2 from equation 1. It gives P minus Q into D equals to A minus B. When we subtract third from the second, this is second, this is third. First we have subtracted, second from the first, it is giving A minus B equals to D into P minus Q. And it is required in our proving. So we can easily use it to find. Again, when we subtract third from the second, it is giving B minus C equals to Q minus R into D. When we subtract first from the third, it is giving C minus A equals to R minus P, and we require this also. And when we have substituted these values of P minus Q using equation 4 as D will be transferred to left hand side denominator, so A minus B upon D. P minus Q equals to A minus B upon D. Q minus R equals to B minus C upon D, and R minus P equals to C minus A upon D. When we substitute, everything will be cancelled out and the answer is 0. After 7th, question number 10 is the next doubt. 8th and 9th. 9th also is a doubt. Okay. So now we discuss question number 8. There are two methods to solve the, question number 9. 8th is very easy. You all must have solved it, I think. Otherwise, ask it in comment box. Question 9. In the arithmetic progression 2, 5, 8 up to 50 terms and 3, 5, actually it is 5, not 7. Make the correction in your sheet. It must be 3, 5, 7, 9. Okay. In the arithmetic progression 2, 5, 8 up to 50 terms and 3, 5, 7, 9 up to 60 terms. Next, first AP is 2, 5, 8 up to 50 terms. And second AP is starting from 3, 5, 7, 9. Okay. Ending at 60th term. Find how many terms are identical. Means we have to find the number of identical terms. So what is the meaning of identical terms? Means like this, 2 is not in both the series, but 5 is lying on both the series. Similarly, if you find one more item after 8 in first AP, as we are observing that it has common difference of 3. So 3 will be added to get the next term. So 8 plus 3, 11. 11 will be the next term. And 11 is in AP2 also, as in this common difference is 2. So if we add 2, we can get the next consecutive term. So after 5, 11 is the next consecutive terms. And remember, if we write the identical terms of two APs, the series obtained by the identical term is also an AP. Always remember this property. The sequence or the series means progression, we can say. The sequence obtained by writing the identical terms, write this also as the next property in your notes. The sequence obtained by writing the identical terms of two APs is also an AP. Always remember this. If you write some more terms, you can prove it. After 11, it has 14. After 14, it has 17. Now, if we write the next terms of AP2, they are 13, 15, 17. So the common series is first term is 5, next is 11. After this, it is 17. So if we obtain three terms, 5, 11, and 17, find the difference between first two. 11 minus 5, 6. Difference between next two, 17 minus 11, 6. So difference is common. So if it has common difference, means it is forming the AP. Understood? So we write the series formed by common term First term is 5 identical term. Second identical term is 11. Third is 17 and so on. So now think about what can be the maximum value of terms in this AP. What can be the maximum value of term of this AP? Think about this. So you can understand that the maximum value means 5 is the value of first term, 11 is the value of second term, 17 is the value of third term, and maximum value will be less than 50th term of AP1 and will be less than 60th term of AP2 as well. Means it must be less than 50th term of first AP as well as 60th term of AP2, as second AP goes till 60 terms and first AP goes till 50th term. Means we have to find the 50th term of AP1 and 60th term of AP2. And in this last term is nth term. If we assume that this AP has n terms, so nth term will be the last term of the AP formed by identical terms. So we find the nth term of this AP also. And nth term of the AP formed by the common term must be less than 50th term of AP1 as well as 50th term of AP2. So for this, first we find for AP1 the last term, for which we use first term of AP1 is 2. Common difference is 5 minus 2 equals to 3. So 50th term, which is obtained by the formula an equals to a plus n minus 1 into d. As we know that general term of an AP means nth term of an AP has the formula an equals to a plus n minus 1 into d. So 50th term is a 50 equals to value of a we have already written 2 plus value of n means in place of n we have written 50, 50th term. So 50 minus 1 into common difference is 3. So it is 2 plus 49 into 3, that is 2 plus 147 equals to 149. So 50th term of first AP is 149. It means all the terms of the AP formed by the common terms of AP1 and AP2 must be less than 149. Again, we have to find the last term of AP2 also, in which first term is 3. Common difference is 5 minus 3 equals to 2. Number of terms this time is given 60. So we will find the last term, that is 60th term, using the same formula an equals to a plus n minus 1 into d. So a60 equals to a plus, in place of writing the formula, now we will directly substitute the value. Value of a in this series is 3 plus value of n is 60 minus 1 into d is 2. So it is 3 plus 60 minus 1, 59 into 2. It is 3 plus 59 to the 118, that is 121. It means the identical terms must be less than 121. So what do you conclude? If it is less than 149 as well as less than 149, so what do you conclude? Clearly it concludes that the last term of the AP means all the terms of the AP formed by the identical terms of AP1 and AP2 is less than 149 as well as less than 121, means they cannot exceed 149. But now when we write they cannot exceed 121, means they cannot exceed 121 only. So if the AP formed by identical terms of first AP and second AP has n terms, then nth term of AP must be less than 121. So for AP, AP, we are representing the series formed by the common term as AP only. For AP, first term is 5. Common difference is 11 minus 5 equals to 6. And we have to find the nth term using the same formula. An equals to A plus n minus 1 into D. That is 5 plus n minus 1 into D is 6. That is 5 plus 6n minus 6 equals to 6n minus 1. So nth term is 6n minus 1. And we already have discussed this, that the value of this nth term must be less than 121. That is, the 6n minus 1 must be less than 121. It implies 6n must be less than 121 plus 1 equals to 122. That is, 6n is less than 122. It means n is less than 122 by 6. That is, n is less than 61 by 3. N is less than 20 whole 1 by 3. So the natural number just less than 20 whole 1 by 3 is 20. Means 20 terms are identical. So there must be 20 identical terms in the AP. So we have used the property that if we write all the common terms of two corresponding APs, the series formed by the common terms will also be an AP, to conclude that there must be 20 identical terms in AP. Hope you all must have understood this. Otherwise, I am going to discuss it again. AP1 means an AP of 50 terms, 2, 5, 8, 11, and another AP of 60 terms, having the terms as 3, 5, 7 are taken, and we have to find the number of identical terms for out of these two APs. So we will use a property of AP that the sequence obtained by the writing the identical terms of two APs is also an AP. So when we write it, it can be proved also. First term is 5. Next is 11. If they are not given, we have to write 2 or 3 more terms to get the common terms. So 5 is the first term. If you observe in AP1 and AP2, 11 is next term and 17 is third term. So if there are n identical terms, means this AP must have an identical term. So if we find the nth term out of this, it will be 6n minus 1, as it is the nth term of the AP, so it will be in terms of n. Now it must be less than the last term of AP1, that is 50th term of AP1, and it must be less than the last term of AP2, that is 60th term of AP2. So if we find the 50th term of AP1 is 149. If we find the 60th term of AP2, it is 121. Which it must be less than 121, as it cannot exceed 149 as well as it cannot exceed 121. It means it concludes that it cannot exceed less than 120. It cannot exceed 121. So it is always less than 121. So we write the nth term of AP is less than 121, and on solving is less than 121. So on solving, it is giving n is less than 20 and 1 by 3, and we know that value of n must be a natural number. Why? As it is the order of term. Order of term cannot be fractional. Like if we say 5.1 term, it doesn't exist. Either 5th term, after that 6th term. So it can be only natural number, which is 20.